New York Governor Kathy Hochul under fire for comments she made during an event in Los Angeles yesterday about black children in the Bronx in New York. Listen to the governor.
We like to be first, with all due respect to people from other states. It's sort of our attitude. You know, we will be the best, we will be the first, and I want others to follow, because right now we have, you know, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
They don't know what these things are called computers, really? Now, following an intense backlash, Hochul, she claims now, only because she was called out on it, that she simply misspoke. Also tonight, Congresswoman Maxine Waters is being criticized for making these comments about so-called right-wing groups if Biden wins in November. Wait until you see this.
I'm going to ask the Justice Department and I'm going to ask the President to tell us what they're going to do to protect this country against violence if he loses. I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, you know, what communities they're going to attack.
Any evidence behind that ridiculous statement? The same Maxine Waters, by the way, that has threatened violence against Trump and his supporters on multiple occasions. Let's refresh your memory, shall we?
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
And with this kind of inspiration, I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take Trump out tonight. Here with reaction, Project 21 Chairman Horace Cooper, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Well, if this were you, Governor, if it was Horace, if it was me, I think there'd be a very different reaction, but I guess fairly predictable. Do you know about these far-right groups that are training in the hills? Because I haven't heard a word about anything.
Well, you're just dislocated from all the action, Sean, because everywhere around me, I see these people training in the hills, and they're training so that they can be ready to deal with Maxine when she catches them at the filling station or at the restaurant or wherever they are in public. Honestly, there's an old song from the 60s that a lot of old people will remember. It goes, "They're coming to take me away, ha ha, hee hee, ho ho. They're coming to take me away." And when I hear Maxine Waters, I swear to God, I think that I see men in little red coats, and I hear Maxine saying, "They're coming to take me away." And honestly, Sean, they really need to. This lady has demonstrated the IQ of broccoli.
You're on your game tonight. I've got to pull that song out of mothballs. They're coming to take me away. Horace, I don't know if you remember it, but it is pretty darn funny and applicable in many ways.
I've heard it. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. Look, let me say, first of all, I agree with the governor. This Marxist minstrel show is getting very tiring. The desire to overthrow America, divide us on racial lines, to create phantom armies that are setting about, all of this is a sign that the hook needs to come and she needs to be pulled off the stage.
Okay, so you say that. But, you know, it's very interesting. Michael Moore can say it's perfectly acceptable to break into buildings. Sounds a lot like they call for insurrection, Governor Huckabee. The very people that were either silent or lied to us and said the 574 riots in the summer of 2020 were mostly peaceful, they were not. Just like they're quiet, their silence is deafening as it relates to a lot of the protesters and from the river to the sea and Antifada and death to Israel and death to America. This seems like just very selective moral outrage from the left as per usual, Governor.
Well, it's really disturbing because they keep talking about if Donald Trump's elected, it would be horrible because he wouldn't leave the first time. Gee, I remember Joe Biden getting sworn in January 21st of 2021. Seems like he got sworn in because Donald Trump had already vacated the White House and moved out. So there was no attempt to hold on to power, to call the military in, to keep him in there. That's nonsense. It's another one of the big, massive lies that the Democrats have told. The truth is, they're the ones who are abusing every law they can twist and turn in order to remain in power. We're watching it in these trials, these phony, ridiculous, disgusting trials against Donald Trump. They're all there for one purpose, to keep the Democrats in power, because they're afraid that Donald Trump's policies really worked for America, and Joe Biden's have just darn near destroyed this country.
They just wanted to embarrass him
Hey,
today,
Sean.
Horace. You get the last word.
This is a classic case of projection. The left claims about the right the very kinds of behaviors, the violence, the bigotry. You've got a governor the governor of New York, talking about black kids as if they're from Somalia, not the Bronx. This behavior needs to be called out. That's what a media would do that was working for America.
Well said. We don't have that. Journalism in America is dead. I proclaimed it right here on this show in '07. I had no idea how right I was. Thank you both.